Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. I was trying to do a Ghostface voice. I don't know. See, I got my own shrine to Scream over here. I got the movies. Obviously, this is only on Paramount Plus right now, so I can't have the physical copy in the back. But I thought, why not be, a little creative and put all three back there? The most recent one at the top because it's the sequel to that, so it makes sense. So yes, Scream 6, Scream VI. Once again, being clever by making it the VI part of the M in the Scream logo. Now, they could have been more clever and made the S in the last one a 5 instead of making it Scream, just Scream. Because honestly, I get what they were trying to say, but I'm sick of reboots or requels having the same name as the original. You know what I mean? And don't go after me as well that Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie that came out last year. It wasn't the same title as the first one because chainsaw was one word and the original it wasn't. Get out of here with that. Just get out of here with that, okay? It's the same thing, okay? In this film, it takes place 1 year later. Tara, Chad, and Mindy are all going to college, and Sam is there as well. And then new killings start to happen. Okay, so I've obviously this came out back in March, right? And so I watched several spoiler-free reviews, and there was a few that said, I figured out who the killer was right away, and I was like, okay, sure. A lot of people say that, but don't mean it. They said it was very easy to figure it out. I figured it out not right away, but it was towards the beginning of the movie when I went, oh, okay, they're doing this, which I'll get to. I want to do my usual breakdown of the movie, but I'm gonna preface this, okay, by saying that I am going to veer off into some spoilers before you get to certain things. I want to wait for the reveal. I do. Maybe if I can wait for the reveal and kind of just, before. But if I mention something, I want to be like, and this is where I figured it out. But I will wait until the killers reveal, and that's not a spoiler of how many there are. Killers, apostrophe, or plural. If you watch the trailer, you know there's more than one. But I figured out how many they were at a certain point. Okay? I'm going to have to spoil for me to... Well, maybe not. Once I get to the thing, I figured it out, but it's still kind of confusing when there was as many as there were. And then when they revealed who they were, one of them threw me off. I'll say that. So, because it's a year later, we start with the opening scene, as every Scream film does, right? And I like what they did. 2 in a row, okay? 2 for 2. What Radio Silence, I'm going to be calling the directors that, so Radio Silence sticks the song. But what Radio Silence did, last one, they subverted expectations by having the first scene be actually one of the main characters, and they survived the attacks. Yes, there was too many stabs, but we're going to get more into too many stabs in this movie. Trust me. But, so yeah, and we have Samara Weaving, and I went, fuck, they're killing her off right away? I did. I was like, shit, you hired the gorgeous Samara Weaving to play a role in a movie. She was in another Radio Silence film, Ready or Not, which was a great film. And you basically brought her in to die, basically. I like that she keeps her accent in this. She's usually just doing an American accent, but she's got an accent, her accent in this. And she's a film professor who does classes on slasher studies, which kind of should be frowned upon if you think about it. But she's waiting for a date named Reggie, and the date calls her. And as soon as this guy calls, you're like, it's Ghostface. It's got to be. The voice sounded familiar to me, but I didn't put it together until they revealed who it was. Yeah, that's right. I said reveal who it was. Just wait. Just wait. Okay? Guy's calling her, and he's like, I can't find the place. She's like, are you on Hudson? Oh, shit. No, I'm not on Hudson. I'll go. Get on Hudson. What's the place? What color is the place? Red. I don't see any red. So, you think being a slasher, teaching slasher films, she would figure out not to do this, but she leaves where she is, the comfortability and safety of the restaurant. Fucking really? Sorry. She leaves the safety of the restaurant or bar that she's at. She comes out. She starts looking around. He's like, oh, I see an alley. Do you see an alley? She's like, yeah, it's over here. I'm not doing the accent. I sounded more like Brooklyn than anything. She's like, yeah, it's over here. And he's like, okay, I'm going down the alley. He's like, I don't see you. She's like, are you sure? She's like, yeah. He's like, I see someone. Wave at me. So she waves. She just doesn't see anyone. He's like, no, the person's not waving. They're just staring at me. Oh no, they're coming at me. And then the voice changes to a ghost face. Roger L. Jackson. And yeah, it turns out this is a ghost face killer. Jumps out of the thing. It's kind of like the Sarah Michelle Gellar kill, and I know she did last summer. Jumps out, kills her, which you think more people would have noticed because it's very close to the end of the alley. Kills her, and then takes the mask off, revealing it is Flash Thompson from the Spider-Man movies, the new ones. Tony Revolori. You know what? Because I was really confused at first because he stabs and when he goes for the final stab, usually you get the Scream title, you know? He just goes down and I'm like, huh? He takes the mask off and I went, oh, we're not done. No, this guy just kind of takes the suit off and he goes back and it turned, on the way back to his apartment, he runs into Tara. So this is the first time, well, no, it's the second time because, you know, a main character is in the opener and it's both times Tara. Interesting, isn't it? She's like, I'm going to a party. He's like, what about your sister? You know, are you both going to be there? She's like, no, my sister doesn't do parties. Oh, we should try to talk her into it. I'll see you later. I'm like, okay. And then he goes up to his apartment, he's talking to his roommate, who's watching Friday the 13th Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. Nod? I think so. But his roommate's not there, and he keeps calling for him. And then you see he has a little shrine with two ghost face masks. And then he gets a phone call. He thinks it's his friend, and the ghost face voice acts like it is. And he's like, you gotta find me. So he's like, we're playing hot and cold. Remember play that when you were a kid? Hot and cold to find where I hit it, right? So he leads him to the fridge, and I'm like, ain't no way he's popping out of the fridge. My expectations were subverted because I thought he was gonna open it, he's gonna pop out. I'm like, how did he fit in? Excuse me. How does he fit in the fridge? No, he was literally leading him to his roommate, like he said. He opens it up, and his roommate is in a bunch of pieces, all mutilated in the fridge. And then Ghostface comes up behind him, stabs the fuck out of him, kills him. Then we get the title card. Dead Meat fans, we get the title card. And yeah, I went, okay, you got me. And then they sort of had me go down. Like, the payoff to this, for me, worked overall. But they have Sam go to see her therapist, who is Henry Shazerny. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Who is the patriarch dad in Ready or Not. He was also in the first Mission Impossible. It's going to be in the new one. It's 2 parts. 2-part finale sort of thing. And he's a therapist. And he, you know, they say he wants to know what happened to her. You know, full discretion. So she spills the beans on what happened in the last movie. And she also adds this. After what happened, people have accused her of being the mastermind of the killings and framed Richie and Amber and killed them. Yeah, I didn't like that. I'm like, Well, why? Now, this could be very realistic. It could be turned around on you very quick, this sort of thing. But I was just like, why are we doing this? And it's utilized okay throughout the film, but I just feel like, I don't know. And then when they reveal the reason who did it, I'm just like, okay, there's a reason for it. I get it. Okay. But, yeah. And all of a sudden, the therapist gets very unnerved and he's like, I think we're done for the day. I think we're done. He's like, what? You told me to tell you. No, I have to report something like this. So, they know. The cops know about this. She just told you something that happened the previous year. Cops were involved. They know. Why do you need to report? And after all, you're the one who said to tell you. And technically, you can't. Doctor-patient confidentiality. You can't tell no one. I'm obligated to report this. No, I don't care what you think you're obligated to do. Doctor-patient confidentiality. You cannot break that. And she does talk about how she split Richie's throat, stabbed him a bunch of times. Yeah. That's what happened. But yeah, she confessed everything, and now the whole doctor's a little under. She goes home, and we meet her roommate, who is having sex, but don't show anything. So I still think I'll be okay to show my son this movie. He's seen horror movies before. There's nothing too bad. Drugs, you saw it in the last one. He'll be fine, and it's just a bong hit. You don't know what that is. He'll be fine. He never asked him any questions anyway. He just watches the movies. Which I'm glad, because if I had to start asking questions, like if... I don't know. But, it's fine. It's your discretion what you want to show your kids, right? I think he'll be fine with this. He's seen bloody stuff. Language, he's heard worse from his mother. Trust me. Okay? But anyway... but I probably won't show him till the physical media come out. Easier to do it that way. But anyway, so we meet her roommate, and she is very promiscuous because Sam's like, let me guess, that's Paul. And you hear the guy go, who the fuck is Paul? So she's sleeping with more than one guy. By the way, we never meet Paul, but we do see his dead body. Yeah, I don't know. It's very confusing. And so she has a conversation with him, with her, and they're talking about backstory, which I can't get into because, I don't know, I'll just get into it later. There's backstory for other characters in this that, I just wrote it, didn't I? I just spoiled the fucking... Alright, so there's backstory. She says her brother was killed in a car accident. That's the backstory. Nothing big. But she talks about her brother was killed in a car accident, and, she kind of relates to what's going on with her, but she can't relate what's going on with her because she's a daughter of a serial killer. She had friends die. Yeah. But she's like, oh, your sister's not here. She went to a frat party. So, she's like, okay, I gotta go get her then. They do point out the new neighbor, cute guy they call him, which is Josh Segarra's character, Danny. And look, I think you're subverting our expectations here because in both things that I recently seen him in, I pegged him as he's going to be the killer or he's going to be the bad guy. Right? In She-Hulk, I'm like, he's the Hulk. He's the Hulk King. He's the one behind it. And then this one, I'm like, he's one of the killers. At least one of the killers. And there's a point where he's taken, there's 2 times in the film where he's not around for stuff. And I'm like, he has to be one of the killers. Subvert my expectations because I know him as a villain from Arrow. I think that's why they cast him in these roles because you're going to directly point towards him, but it's not going to be him. And one day, you're going to do it and be like, no, they keep doing that. It's not him. It's going to be him. I swear to God, they're going to do it. I'm going to keep on thinking it's him. Anyway, so she's on her way to the party now. And we cut to the party. Tara, Mindy, and Chad are there with Chad's roommate Ethan. All right, Ethan, just little skinny dude with the mop top hair. Chad's roommate. You know. And so Mindy points to Chad that something's going on. This drunk guy is trying to get Tara to go upstairs with them, and so Chad intervenes, and she wants to go up there, but then, then the guy like grabs her forcefully and starts dragging her up the stairs, and Chad's like, no, fuck it, fuck off, and pushes him down and saves him. And then Sam shows up and tasers the guy, saves her, excuse me, and tasers the guy in the balls. Ouch! No! Filmmakers, you stop with people getting hurt in the balls. We don't want to see it, okay? It's cool if it's made to be funny. Like in So I Married an Axe Murderer, where Rose kicks him in the nuts, and then she kicks him in the, right? Or he kicks her in the JJ, that sort of thing. But this is just torture. No guy wants to think about that. Okay, no guy wants to think about that. No. So they leave, and Tara yells at Sam for what she'd done. Sam's like, I'm just trying to protect you. She wanted to protect you. You followed me all the way here, blah, blah. Whiny sister, bitching and moaning. They get back to the house, and that's when they see the news story of what happened. Oh, there is a confrontation, because remember, they think she's the killer. So they, hey, and they throw cherry Pepsi on her, I guess is what they call it. And so they get back, and this is when it's revealed that Danny, or cute guy, and Sam are actually seeing each other. They've been sleeping together, the whole thing. Because at first I was like, okay, so they're going to build up to this. And I'm like, but the description said he was her boyfriend already. And then they reveal this. I'm like, that's right. Because when the descriptions came out for the characters, like, oh, it's her boyfriend. I'm like, so they're already together. They get together throughout the film. Okay. And Mindy has a new girlfriend too, named Akiko or something. It's something. I don't remember the name. She's not really important. Sorry. We find out that Quinn, the roommate, her father is a cop. And only that, he's the cop that responded to the murders of the two guys at the beginning. And then they also bring up the teacher too. Somehow, they know that they killed the teacher. That Flash killed the teacher, and then I don't know. They said that he killed her, and then maybe someone saw him. I don't know. But yeah, and Sam's ID card was found at the crime scene. First of all, if you're a killer, you're not going to be stupid enough to leave your ID card around. Fingerprints, maybe, if you're in a hurry. But your old freaking driver's license ID card, no. But, like, okay, I'm going to have to spoil something here, because this is where I really kind of started to figure stuff out, okay? So, the detective's like, okay, I need to meet with you. You need to come downtown. Tara's like, I'm going with you. So we get the bodega scene from the trailer where the ghost face shows up. But within context, they leave and start walking down the street. And then she jumps. The killer jumps them. And I got confused. So, okay. So I suspected it was the detective and his daughter, the roommate. So I'm like, when this guy jumped out, I'm like, wait a minute. She's upstairs and he's at the crime scene. Who's this? Unless it was her and she left another way, or it's the detective and he sort of snuck out of the crime scene and drove there quickly. I don't know. But, or it could be the third option. which I pointed out was cute guy. I'm like, Orange, cute guy. But they already said he was boyfriend, but he was downstairs and he was up with them. And then he got pushed out and kicked out by Mindy because, don't trust anyone you don't know. Or Chad. Chad pushed him out. So he could have left and changed. He could be the third killer. Who knows? But you get to a bodega scene. It's a great scene. You see from the trailer. This is more extended, of course. There's more to it. And eventually they get out of there. But the detective shows up, which made me go, how was he so close, though? Who knows? Then Gail shows up. Gail's been trying to contact them for a while. They go to the police station, I think is what it was, and then when they leave, she's there. And she's like, you haven't answered my phone calls. And we do a thing where she goes to punch her, and she moves out of the way. Like, I've been there before, but then Tara just punches her in the face. I'm like, bam, bitch went down. Tara, super bitch. But she doesn't go down. She's like, this side she gets hit on. But yeah, and she's like, I'm trying to get in contact with you. She lives in New York, by the way. She also has a boyfriend, much like Quinn, who we see, but not really. Like, he's barely in there. And it's even worse when you get the scene where the killer is talking about Dewey and she's crying over Dewey and boyfriend's getting killed in the background. And it's just like, why are you dating someone else? Why is she dating someone else? Well, who wrote her having a boyfriend? I don't know. Anyway, we'll get to that. We're not there yet. So we get an obligatory scene where everyone's sitting on a park bench this time instead of a fountain. And have Mindy breaking the fourth wall, talking about sequels to a requel, or a requel sequel. Basically, this is remaking part 2. Everyone's at a college. And so, if you didn't catch on, figure out what's going on, requel sequel. Okay, who's one of the killers in the second film? Billy's mother, right? I started to put things together. I'm like, okay, obviously I'm going in the right direction here. It's very easy to figure out, but I'm not spoiling it for you yet. If you haven't figured it out, that's great. That's great. But we're going to keep going with this. So she starts to explain rules. Anyone can go. Legacy characters can go. Legacy characters can die. Even the main characters, Tara and Amber, can die. Keep that in mind. They point anyone is on the chopping block. Anyone can die. Too bad they didn't listen to their own freaking rules. Anyway, yeah, we had that scene. Even like pointing out that the Woodrow people can be trusted, but everyone else can't. So Quinn can't be trusted. Ethan can't be trusted. And she's like, to her girlfriend, never trust a love interest. Technically, it was a love interest in the last one, which automatically made me think, maybe it's not cute guy. And I keep calling him that. Danny. Maybe it's not Danny. Well, I didn't know his name at the time, really. Maybe it's not Danny, because it was him. I don't know. So, then we get a scene that reintroduces Kirby. She's now an FBI agent, and even the detective's like, aren't you kind of young? She's like, I'm 30. And I went, how? How are you 30? And I had to add it up. So, the fourth one took place in 2011. So that means she was 18, which kind of doesn't match up. I thought that they were like 16, these characters, but I guess they were seniors. Then again, the main characters were seniors, so in the first film. So, yeah, I guess it works. She could have been 18, and then she's like, I got stabbed here. Charlie gave me this, and she shows the scar. I don't think it's here. I think it's later on in the film, but she shows where she got stabbed, whatever. And so then the detective's like, Dermot Mulroney's character, the detective, Quinn's father, is like, call the FBI. Have them send everything they have on Kirby. Like, do you think something might be off? And I'm like, what are you doing? Because I'm already suspecting him. To be honest, it's about my expectations of what they went with, but, So, So everybody is sort of at the apartment. They're hanging out, right? And then Danny sees across the hallway there's a ghost face in the room while Quinn is on the phone. She's on her cell phone talking to her dad while there's a killer. And I went, she's talking to her dad, then they can't be the killers, right? Or are they trying to throw us off? Is she not talking to anyone, pretending to talk to someone, and this is her dad? But no, he was just on the phone, I think. We just saw him, I don't know, time changes in this. I didn't catch on to it until we got to Gail's apartment. But, yeah, so Quinn gets killed. She gets killed. And they find the boyfriend in the bathroom. And this is the scene from the trailer where they put the ladder, Danny puts the ladder between and they climb across. Chad and Tara get locked out. And so it's Mindy, the girlfriend, and Sam. So Sam and Mindy climb across, but girlfriend doesn't make it in time and gets thrown off the ladder and goes splat on the ground underneath. They're like maybe 6-7 stories high. They're very up high. Gets splat. And then the killer just stands there and moves. And I'm like, he didn't try to climb across, which is smart because, they could pull it. But yeah. But why didn't they go, shit, and pull it in? They just kind of stood there like, we're going to get you, you fucker. And I'm like, yeah, ladder, move it, But yeah. And all this time, they're still kind of trying to point towards Sam for doing it. But I do like, though, when was it this or was it, no, I'm thinking of Taken 3, but I do like that, like, no one really believes that she did it, you know what I mean? Not truly. So we're down a few. And when Chad's roommate shows up, he's like, where the fuck were you? He's like, I had econ class, man. I had econ, I had class. And they keep that point, and Minnie's like, no, it's you. You're the killer. You're the ghost face. And she's like, I had econ. And I was like, he's like, there was 100 people that could tell you where I am. And then I'm sitting there going, why don't you talk to the econ class? Talk to people that were in the econ class, talk to the econ teacher, and find out. They don't go to try to ask to make sure. I'm just saying. Anyway, so then we're introduced to this Ghostface shrine, which we are said was created by the Flash and his roommate. They created all this. They got all this stuff. And it was something I caught from the trailer. I kind of started to put together. These are all crime scene stuff. They're all evidence. Who is able to get evidence but a cop? And that's why I kind of had it focused on Dermot Mulroney's character. I was like, Detective Bailey. I'm just like, yeah, I'm thinking it's him. Because all this is evidence, right? It's evidence. And like, oh, you can buy stuff. Yeah, but they have to have a cop in their pocket, And so I kind of like it. He's involved in some way, shape, or form, but he's looking like he has no idea what this is. And so it's a nice little shrine. It's like, oh, and there's a line, by the way, when they show that's a TV that fell on Stumacher's head and killed him. He might not be dead. It's like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. You're fueling the fire to those people who are wrong, by the way, in believing that Stu is still alive. No one could survive being electrocuted when a TV falls on your face. That's a CR TV, too. That's a big-ass box TV. Not one of these flimsy-ass things. A big box TV that weighs like 50 pounds. Maybe more. He's not alive. And if they do one day decide to bring him back, it'll be because they ran out of ideas. At this point, if they bring him back. It would have been creative to bring him back in the third one. Bringing him back now would be because they ran out of ideas and they need a hook, right? They need a hook. I'm just saying. Yeah. So all this stuff, and is there? I don't think there's a chase scene that goes down here. Eventually, they decide they have to, or is this before the kill? No, because the girlfriend's not there. The roommate wasn't there either because they weren't in the trailers. So no, they're not there. But yeah, so they're like, okay, and we get Billy Ghost again, which is fine. I didn't hate it in the last one. It kind of works. Sam is standing because all the masks have been taken. Something I forgot to mention. They're leaving the masks of each killer. They're going backwards. The mask left in the first killings, the two boys, the two roommates, Flash and his roommate, was Richie's mask. At the murder of, at the bodega, I should say, those killings, it was Jill and Randy's mask. Or Jill and Rory Culkin, his character. Jill and, it's not Randy, it's, Jill and, whatever that guy's name was. Their mask. And then, I think at the apartment, they left the mask of Roman Bridger. The only one to do it by themselves. It means there are 3 masks. 3? 3. 4. 4 masks. 4 masks left undone. Mickey, Mrs. Loomis, Stu. Then again, if there was 9 masks, then how come the DNA is on one of the masks? There was only 8 there. So there was 9 killers, but they say that Charlie, his name is Charlie, that Charlie and Jill's DNA were on the same mask, which they did both wear the same mask. That is true. But, so there's only 8 masks, but 9 killers, right? So, it's Gale time. They try to lure out the killer by walking in the park. And they start talking about, no one's going to try to kill you in broad daylight. And Mindy, they're in the FBI van. Mindy goes, oh, really? Really? Because that's how my uncle died. That's how my Uncle Randy died. In broad daylight. Dragged into a van. In broad daylight with people around. So, yeah, even I was like, that's how Randy died. So, yeah. Yeah. And then they, so these calls, and he's like, do you really think you could lure me into a trap? That I would just walk up there, you would walk around, I'd be in a trap, and they track it. She's like, I can track this in 15 seconds. And it's to a apartment on the Upper West Side, which they figure out is Gale's. And this is where we get another scene from the trailer where Gale's on the phone. And this was it. This was where I realized there was 3 killers. There had to be. Because Sam and Tara take off with Detective Bailey's car, leaving him behind. And there are clearly 2 killers in this apartment. And it is revealed there are 2 killers. It's the first... No. Not in this one. That's later. There are clearly 2 killers here because it's the cardinal rule of Scream. Whenever someone's on the phone with a ghost face, there's always one calling someone and the other one is doing the killing. Now, you may say with Scotty, they traced it to that apartment. Yes, they did, which means they were both there. Right? Right. They were both there. But one of them got away. It could be very easily when the killing started, the one on the phone took off before Sam and Tara got there. And it was just the other one. Now keep in mind that for most of the Ghostface killings in this, you hear a male grunt, which can't always be determined who it is, but it will make sense as you go on, as it goes on, that it could be a male. But yeah. So they decide after this that they need to. This is again where Josh Segarra's character shows up again. I'm like, where were you, my dude? And they're like, she's like, okay, we need to get out of here. We need to get out of here. And we need to set up a trap. They set up a trap in the Ghostface shrine, basically. They're going to set up a trap. Kirby's got it all set up, ready to go. And Detective Bailey's going to meet them there. Or he's stuck at work, I guess is what it is, the way he says. And then they're setting everything up. And so, but before they go up there, okay, first of all, we get a subway scene. And I was very confused because everyone's trying to get on the subway car. And Ethan and Mindy are stopped from getting in. And I'm like, wait, what? No, we saw in the trailer she was on the subway. The Ghostface comes up to her. And then she gets in another subway car. I'm like, oh, the power of trailer editing made it look like they were all on there together. But I did think it was weird in the trailers where it showed the group shot and she wasn't there, and then it cuts and she's there. I'm like, okay, so where is she standing? I didn't think they were on two different things. But yeah, and they do the thing where there's a bunch of, it's Halloween apparently, which is, it's barely mentioned, but it is Halloween. And here we get a bunch of Easter eggs: Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Pinhead, Mojo Jojo, which I did smile at. That is a nod to Roger L. Jackson, who did the voice of Mojo Jojo in the Powerpuff Girls. I'm like, Mojo Jojo. I get it. That's a good one. And there's a bunch of ghost faces around. And at first, when I saw the trailer, I'm like, why would they just be random ass ghost faces on the thing? And why are they messing with people? And I'm like, because now it's in the context that they think that Sam is a killer. Of course they're going to mess with her wearing a ghost face mask. But it turns out the real ghost face killer is on the train, right? And then she gets stabbed. Mindy gets stabbed, and Ethan doesn't realize until after it happens that she was stabbed. She's like, oh no. I need to... Somebody call 911. And then it cuts from them. And we follow the others, they get off, and as they go up to the thing, she stops Danny and says, no, you can't come in. He's like, what? Don't trust anyone, remember? He's like, you're right. And I'm like, then why did he have to take the subway all the way here? If you weren't going to let him go up, why did he have to get on the subway? Why? Oh, I forgot to mention with Gail's attack, she was stabbed. I didn't finish that part, by the way. She was stabbed a few times, supposedly dead, but she has a faint, heartbeat. And we later find out she survived, which, okay, I guess that's not the least believable one. Trust me, it works. Minnie survives too, by the way. Just throwing it out there now. So they go up to set up the trap, and she says, what's going to happen is Ghostface, it's the only way in or out. Ghostface is going to come up here, it's going to get stuck, and we got him. I'm like, it's not going to be that simple. So they're going through all the stuff, they're looking, and then they realize they're not alone. Eventually. Sam gets a phone call from Detective Bailey saying she heard back from the FBI and Kirby is unstable. And she's been off the force for 2 years. And apparently she went nuts. Or maybe it's 5 months is what it is or something. And she started losing her mind after the killings last year. She's not with the FBI anymore, apparently. I also have to question how fast Detective Bailey is. Okay, because I'm about to ruin it. He's one of the killers. Or he's orchestrating the killings, at least. Yes, so we get these he does get there pretty fast, though, I guess. But we get killers, 2 of them. This is the first time I actually see 2 masked killers killing at the same time, which I liked. And something I got to mention. Tara and Chad are romantic now in this. And that makes Liv even more unnecessary than she already was in that movie. All Liv was in the past film, if you don't remember who she is, she was Chad's girlfriend in the last time. Remember? He had a girlfriend, right? And he thought she was one of the killers. The only thing she was good for was for being a red herring. And then when it was time to reveal the killer, who's the first to die? The obvious red herring, right? And now, with Chad just moving on to Tara, what was the point? It makes her even more pointless, in my opinion. It just, yeah. So, this is a long video, but I expected it. Yeah. And then Chad gets just fucking stabbed a bunch of times. I mean, unbelievably a bunch of times. He's left for dead. Like, they're both of them. This is where both of them show up and just stab the fuck out of him. So he's assumed dead. Yeah, you're like, okay, he's dead. They killed off Chad. That's it. He's done. And then we get the run around, 2 killers. And then Bailey shows up. And then they can't find Kirby anywhere. Then Kirby shows up. She's all bloody. Like, I was attacked. We're like, yeah, right, you're the killer. And then Bailey shows up and he's like, step back, Kirby, you're the killer. She's like, I'm not the killer. And he shoots her. At least we didn't get a cringy line like, I know, I am. Like an Amber. I hate that line. It's like, okay. And so, he's standing there with the 2 killers, and he's like, well, he reveals himself as a killer, and he's like, it was so easy. It was so easy to get you. And it's like, okay, who are these 2 then? One of them takes off the mask, and it's Ethan. And I went, huh? He was just with Mindy 2 stops back. How the hell did he get there so fast? And then they're like, wait, if that's him, they point the other one, Mindy? I'm like, really? Really? No, it's Quinn. She's not dead. She's not dead. Nope. And why are they doing this? Well, as I said, I caught on early on. It's when Quinn is talking to Sam earlier on in the film. And she says her brother died. And I went, oh, because I was already on that it was the detective. And she said it was her father. I'm like, okay, they're in on it together. And she's like, well, my brother died. I'm like, oh, the Ritchie's family, they're killing him for revenge. This is Scream 2. Literally a requel of Scream 2. Okay. And then Ethan threw me out. Because when I go to Master, I'm like, here we go. It's Danny. It's John Segarra. I'm going to be verified. I'm going to be vindicated. I'm going to be vindicated. He's the bad guy. And it's him. It's Ethan. And I went, huh? What? What? Huh? And also, there is a bit of a plot hole. So he's one of the killers, right? He told someone to call 911. We find out later, Mindy survived. He took her to the hospital. He let her get taken to the hospital. And they're like, oh, we're going to go kill Mindy and Gail after this. Why not just walk out? I understand that for the purposes of it being a movie, we need to see him try to save her so it throws us off. But take this as a real life situation, all right? He's one of the killers. He would see this and be like, and walk off, right? Even for Mindy's sake. Because Mindy's been pointed out that it's Ethan the entire movie, and she's like, well, shit, I was wrong. No, you weren't. But, like, the only reason he tried to save her is for our benefit to throw us off. To make you think, okay, he's not the killer then if he's trying to help her. And then it's revealed, it's like, oh, son of a bitch, they got us. Because I wasn't expecting it. I was thinking it was going to be Josh Segarra and Danny. I'm like, is he going to come in and save the day? Which I feel like that would have caused a lot of problems if Sam and Tara were in trouble and And big manly cute guy man shows up to save the day. They'd be like, oh, the filmmakers are obviously saying that women can't do anything without men. But they don't go in that direction. Even if they did go in that direction, I probably still wouldn't have minded because he would have done fucking something. It just disappears and it shows up at the end. Anyway. So, like I said, the detective shoots Kirby, so she's effectively dead. Thanks for coming back. And then they reveal another big twist. They're Richie's family. Like I said. And they're getting revenge, apparently. Something I want to point out. Something that caught me as odd. After the second attack, they cut to an outside scene. And Sam is smoking. And I went, that's weird. Because at the beginning of Scream 2022, Scream 5, whatever, there's a scene where it reveals her and Richie for the first time. She's just sitting outside, having a break from work or something. She's not doing anything. She's just sitting there. And I'm like, it's very weird because it's almost like she should be smoking if she's outside or something. It's like they wanted her to do that in that movie and decided against it, but then just had her do it. And then having her do it in this film, only one scene, by the way. It's not like a recurring thing where she's doing it because of stress. It's only one scene that she does it, and it doesn't really make any sense. I bring that up because if they had done it in that scene and then here, it could have been a connection of some sort of like stress. I don't know if the stress would have been dead. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, they revealed that it was Richie, that like they're Richie's family and his sister, his other brother, whatever. And like, oh, Mindy was absolutely right. I did hack my way into being Chad's roommate. And I got stuck with a over-muscled big roommate. And his name was actually Chad and that sort of thing. And they go on a whole spiel about why they did it. And honestly, I know some people don't like this. Some people said, oh, I thought this was one of the best Scream movies until we got to the last 20 minutes and it all fell apart. For me, I like this motive better than, oh, we don't like how the last movie went, so we're going to make our own. I didn't like that, okay? They made them sound like whiny freaking babies. This is a family getting revenge, which makes more sense to me than, oh, we were mad the last movie wasn't what we wanted it to be, so we're going to do our own. And we're going to This makes a lot more sense to me. I'm kind of on board with this motive. Movie speaking wise, not real life, of course. But, yeah. So eventually, though, Sam's killer instincts, set in. And they just start stabbing the fuck out of him. And there's a cool scene, the scene you see in the trailer, which they had to have cut the shit in that trailer. Because you have Ethan standing underneath Tara, going like, "Come on!" With some, you gotta let go. Like she said earlier in the film, you need to let me go. Gives her a knife, and then comes down, stabs him in the fucking eye. Or no, stabs him in the throat. That's the throat. She stabs Ethan in the throat, and then they kill Quinn again. And then it's down to just them Detective Bailey. We play a game of cat and mouse. Sam actually puts on a ghost face costume and kills the detective, stabs him in the fucking eye, which he's, and then ghost Billy is like, that's my girl, or whatever. And she takes it off, and then Danny and other police show up. By the way, Kirby is still alive. We find out Mindy and Gail are still alive. We never see Gail again. Mindy shows up. And as shocks of all shocks, Chad is still alive. I was pretty sure he was fucking dead. He got stabbed as she stabbed Detective Bailey. And she stabbed Richie and stuff. He should be bleeding out. He should be dead, man. They're too chicken shit to kill off the main cast of characters after having Mindy say the dialogue that, oh, it's a franchise now. Anyone can die. Even the main characters. Everyone's expendable. So do that. Kill off Chad. I don't care. It wouldn't be good for the... I would think, well, what's the whole point of doing a love interest thing? The only thing I could think of is that they should have had... They're going to kill him off, have him jump in front of Tara getting stabbed and saving her life. It's sort of... And it's like, okay, he sacrificed himself for love. You know, vindication sort of thing. But, yeah. And... yeah, so basically everything is over. Oh, they do mention Sydney. And they give a reason like, oh, she knows what's going on, and she took Mark and the kids, and she's going to someplace safe. And the killer's motive, it does make sense that Sydney wouldn't be involved, you know? Gail is only involved because she's in New York City, although Gail wants a good story, she would go towards it anyway, but she's already there. Kirby's there because she's with the FBI and she's tracking the case, and I'm pretty sure everything that Detective Bailey said about her was bullshit just to make them think there's something wrong. The only thing that I didn't figure out till now was how the others got in. If everything was locked off and that's the only way up, then they said there's an escape, like a roof escape or something. So that's how they climbed like a fire escape, come down, locked it up so they can't get out. That sort of thing. But yeah, I'm still going to say this was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. I don't get to hate. I know there's hit and miss stuff. There's some stuff that is iffy for me, but overall, I enjoyed it. If I enjoyed it, I got to say it's pretty good, right? Like, I mean, I enjoyed Taken 3 for what it was, but I gave it middle of the road just because it was kind of But, you know, I did enjoy this. You know, I don't think it's as good as the last one or the first two. I hold those up on a high pedestal. It might be better than 4, but that's another one where I didn't care for the twist particularly. Yeah, it was a good subversion that Jill was the killer, but then just, oh, my boyfriend cheated on me and I'm jealous and I want all the fame. And it's just like, over the years, that's grained on me as, yeah, not a good motive. Not a great plan, sort of thing. But, yeah, so what are your thoughts on Scream 6? This is a long-ass review, but I expected it to be. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.